All aboard for the transcribed premiere production, The Cruise of the Paul Parrot, that exciting story of whaling days and the search for buried treasure. In order to recover the diamonds from the mine which has been covered over by a landslide on the island of Galto, our friends, headed by Captain Roy Dalton, were forced to go to Ascension Island for explosives. While there, they are successful in foiling a raid by privateers on property of friends of Captain Dalton's. During a fight between Captain Dalton and Dirk Briscoe, leader of the privateers, Sue Grange saves the captain's life by running between the two as Briscoe is about to shoot Captain Dalton. Unbeknown to Captain Dalton, to escape from the authorities, Briscoe and his crew have taken refuge on Galto Island, where they discover Red Mulhooley, the sailor who was given up for dead during the eruption of Smoky Mouth, the volcano on Galto Island. Briscoe and Mulhooley have joined forces in order to secure the treasure before Captain Dalton and the rest of our friends return. After securing explosives at Georgetown on Ascension Island, our friends are returning to Galto. Aboard ship, which is underway, we find Johnny Robbins and Sue Grange talking to old Dickon, the peg-leg sailor. Paul Parrot himself is perched atop Dickon's shoulder.
Fair weather, mateys.
Let's hope it is fair weather, Polly. Don't forget, we've got to get the buried diamonds.
Polly's been a great help to us on this cruise, Dickon.
Yeah, that he has, little Sue. I owe me life to him, that I do.
Yes. When you were tied up in old man Kip's cabin, it was Paul Parrot who led Captain Dalton and Mr. Wainwright to where you were.
Good old Polly. It's fair weather and foul. He's been through with me since first we hooked up. Hey, Polly?
Fair weather and foul, fair weather and foul.
You know, Dickon, I've often wanted to ask you how long you've had Paul Parrot.
Yes. Well, I suppose we just took it for granted that you've always had him with you.
Stave me mainsails. It seems to me I've always had him with me.
He must be an awful old bird, Dickon.
There's no remembering how old he is. I got him when I was a mere lad, I did. And he's been with me ever since.
I'll bet you got him in South America, Dickon.
What makes you say that, lad?
Well, don't all parrots come from South America?
No, Johnny. About half the parrots are from South America, but a lot of them come from Australia.
Right you are, Miss Sue. And that's just where I got Paul Parrot. In Sydney, Australia, 'twas. When I was a young'un like you two. Over there, they calls them lories.
Rock, shiver me timbers, I'm a lorry.
Even Bully hasn't forgotten.
Rock, Dickens a lorry. Rock.
Here, you wall-eyed overgrown parakeet. I'll wring your bloomin' neck if you'll call me a lorry.
It's funny they don't find parrots on islands like Galto or Ascension Island we just left.
Well, it's like this. Parrots are found only on tropical islands and in hot countries. In Europe and America, it gets too cold for them. And on islands like Ascension, it's too cold, too.
Oh, Dickon, you said to remind you and you'd tell us something about Ascension Island.
That's right. But so many things have been happening of late, we forgot to remind you.
Say, I did promise to tell you something, didn't I?
Yes. You said it was something about Napoleon.
Aye, that I did. Well, the island we was just on, you know, Ascension Island. Well, that belongs to England, she does. It was about the year 1815, it was, that they made a settlement there. That was after the war between England and France, after the Battle of Waterloo.
Oh, tell us about it, Dickon.
Yes. Where were you, Dickon?
Oh, I was still in Australia, I was. But my dad, rest him, he fought under the Duke of Wellington, he did. And many's the tale he told me about Napoleon. I remembers it well. It seems like only yesterday me old daddy was telling me about it. Napoleon was a great little general, he was. Not much smaller than me, he wasn't. All small men are great, they are.
Rock, sink the braggart's hook. Sink him.
Polly, I'm a warning you. I'll sink your hook, I will.
Go ahead, Dickon.
This is interesting, all right.
Well, about that Battle of Waterloo. The battle was fought in 1815 at a town near Brussels, Belgium. The British, under the Duke of Wellington, were held by some Prussian soldiers under the command of a General Blucher. The fighting began a little before noon, it did, and the French forces under Napoleon was just about winning, they were.
But they didn't win, did they, Dickon?
Don't interrupt, Johnny. Go ahead, Dickon.
That's right, they didn't win. Because just as they were about to defeat the British, the Prussians came up from the other side.
Napoleon was surrounded, wasn't he?
Oh, that he was. And in spite of desperate charges, he must have realized that his goose was cooked. Napoleon lost about 40,000 men in that battle, and that was just about the end of him.
What's that all got to do with Ascension Island?
Oh, Dickon's coming to that, aren't you, Dickon?
Aye, that I am. Well, shortly after the Battle of Waterloo, Napoleon gave himself up to the British, and they sent him to St. Helena Island. where he stayed the rest of his life, which wasn't very long, it wasn't. He was a sad man, he was. You see, he always wanted to be the emperor of all Europe, and he almost was. He might have succeeded if it hadn't been for the Battle of Waterloo, when he lost to the Duke of Wellington. Well, after about 6 years of loneliness and brooding on the island of St. Helena, he died, he did.
But still, I don't see what that has got to do with Ascension Island.
Oh, but it has this to do with it. When you was on Ascension Island, you was just 700 miles north by west you was from St. Helena Island. 700 miles from where the great Napoleon spent the last 6 years of his life and where he died.
I wish we could have gone there. To St. Helena, I mean.
Aye, lad. Someday you may have the chance. Many's the time I've been there.
I'd like to see where Napoleon is buried. That's why I'd like to visit St. Helena sometime.
Aye, but he's not buried there, Miss Sue.
But you said just now, Dickon, that Napoleon died on the island of St. Helena.
That I did. He did die there, and he was buried there. He was. But some years later, his coffin was dug up, it was, and was taken to Paris and reburied. Because, you see, the French people still thought he was a great man, even if he was defeated by the British. And they wanted his body buried in French soil.
Sue, do you know, being with Dickon like this and listening to his stories, it's just like going to school.
It's better than going to school, I think.
Ah, you're wrong there, little Miss Sue. Nothing is better for young'uns than going to school.
Yes, but in school you can't be cruising around the world like we're doing now.
That may be true, Miss Sue, but you learn more in school. It's often I've wished I'd been able to go to school and learn things the easy way.
What do you mean, the easy way, Dickon?
I'll tell you what I mean. I've learned a lot of things in my life, but I learned them the hard way, by sailing from one end of the globe to the other 100 times. I've knocked around and been knocked around, I have. Learned a lot, I did, but lost a leg doing it. You see, even though I know a lot about the world, and I've seen a lot, still I'm just an ignorant sailor, I am.
Oh, you are not, Dickon.
Hey, that I am, young'un. I'm just smart enough to know that I ain't smart at all. That is, smart in the things I'd like to be smart about.
What do you mean by that, Dickon?
Well, I mean that I often wish that I was smart in knowing how to act around nice people. Like, for instance, your brother, Miss Sue. He's educated, he is. But you can't learn them things shipping on a whaler, you can't. You've got to go to school, you do.
Look, Captain Dalton's coming this way.
Avast, me hearties. What's in the sail?
Oh, Captain Dalton, Dickon has been telling us how close we were to St. Helena Island where Napoleon died, when we were on Ascension Island.
Aye, that we were, Miss Sue.
Well, I've learned more from Dickon since we've been on this cruise than I ever knew before, Captain Dalton.
I'm glad of that, Johnny. You can learn a lot from Dickon. He's a smart old seagull, and you may lay to that.
Thank you, Captain. But I'm not a smart one, I'm not. I just seen a lot, I have. But after all is said and done, I'm just an old rough tar. I'm fit only for the sea.
Aye, an old rough tar with a heart as pure as gold and as strong as steel. I'm proud to call you a friend, Dickon, and you may lay to that.
Why, Dickon, there's a tear in your eye.
Aye, there is, monsieur. But I'm not ashamed of it, I'm not. It's been a long time since these old eyes of mine are wet with anything besides salt water.
What's wrong, Dickon?
Oh, nothing's wrong, Johnny lad. These tears are tears of happiness to be sailing with such a fine man as Captain Dalton here.
Why, Dickon, I'm no different than any other skipper.
Captain, all my life, man and boy, I've sailed under many a captain from Cape Town to Frisco, from Liverpool to Yokohama, around the whole a dozen times or more. And I've been shanghaied by pirates and sailed under men I couldn't even understand their bloomin' speech. Whalers, Portuguese fish boats, Chinese pirates, and some nice ones, you may lay to that. Starved almost to death on desert islands, flogged by sea brigands, pushed around and beaten by drunken skippers. Aye, but I'm happy. I'm happy I went through all that, because it made a good sailor out of me. And if I hadn't been a sailor, I'd never had a chance to sail under such a man as Captain Dalton here. And that I wouldn't, so help me.
Dickon, I hardly know what to say.
Dickens, a soft one! Dickens, a soft one!
Soft, am I? Soft, am I? I'll wring your neck, you bloomin' owl.
What was that?
Sounded like an explosion, it did, sir.
There. I heard it.
Where could that come from, Captain Dalton?
Just off starboard. You can see Galto Island coming in view. And those explosions are coming from Galto Island. I don't like the sound of it.
Nor do I, Captain Dalton.
Could it be that volcano again, Captain Dalton?
Oh, I hope not.
No. No, it's not the volcano this time. Those explosions are being set off by human hands. You may lay to that.
Well, what do you think it could be, Captain Dalton?
I don't think. I know. Someone is blasting the mine to get at those diamonds. It looks like we're getting here just in time.
Yes, someone is blasting the mine on Galto Island to get at the diamonds buried there. Of course, Captain Dalton has no idea it's Dirk Briscoe and Red Mulhooley. Will Captain Dalton get there in time before Briscoe and Mulhooley get away with the treasure? Be sure to listen to the next exciting adventure on the cruise of the Paul Parrot, and we'll find out just what is in store for Captain Dalton, Old Dickon, Johnny, and Sue, and the rest of our friends when they land once more on the island of Galto. Until then, this is your Paul Parrot announcer, Dave Ward. All aboard for the transcribed premiere production, The Cruise of the Paul Parrot. That exciting story of whaling days and the search for buried treasure. Captain Roy Dalton and his friends are returning from Ascension Island with explosives in the hold with which to blow up the landslide which blocks the diamond mine on secret Galto Island, owned jointly by Ezra Grange and young Johnny Robbins. While on Ascension Island, they surprised a raid on the home of some friends of Captain Dalton by a reckless adventurer named Dirk Briscoe. After having been chased off Ascension Island by Captain Dalton, Briscoe and his men are hiding from the authorities on uncharted Galto Island, unknown to our friends. There, Red Mulhooley has told Briscoe of the diamond deposit, and Briscoe, who had explosives in the hold, has begun to remove the debris which blocks the mine to seize the diamonds for himself. As the Paul Parrot approaches Galto Island, the sound of explosions is heard, and our friends hastily cast anchor and row ashore. We now find Captain Dalton, Ezra Grange, Dickon, Johnny Robbins, and Sue Grange ashore, talking over this baffling new problem.
Blow me down, Captain Dalton. There it goes again.
Rock! Heavy weather ahead! Rock!
Aye, Dickon. There's no mistaking it now. That blasting's coming from the mine.
Somebody else is trying to get at our diamonds.
But who could it be? There isn't anybody else left on the island since you took old Ezekiel Kip prisoner.
You're forgetting one swab we've always had to keep a weather eye on, Sue. Red Mulhooley.
But look here, Captain. I thought you and Dickon saw Mulhooley caught in Kip's old cabin when it caught fire and caved in.
Aye, Mr. Grange, so we did, but we have no proof he was killed.
Aye, aye, Captain. That Mulhooley Wallace is as tough as the hide of a bloomin' grampus. He's cruising around somewhere, not much the worse for the blow he's weathered. You may lay to that.
Dickon, what's a grampus?
Why, lass, a grampus is a killer whale. One of the strongest and fiercest animals in the 7 seas. He lives for killing. He'll kill anything that swims. And he ain't worth a bit of good to anything, so the whalers seldom catch him.
That's not a bad description of Red Mulhooley. Tough, a murderer at heart, and absolutely worthless.
Rock! He's a bloomin' grampus! Give him the iron! Rock! Rock!
We're wasting time, mateys. We've got to set out for the mine and see what's in the wind.
It's liable to be dangerous, isn't it? We might walk into a trap.
That's the chance we've got to take, Mr. Grange. Mr. Wainwright remained aboard ship. Buscara's taking charge of the cabins ashore here again. Nicholson supervising the bringing of the explosives ashore. That leaves Jowett free. Mr. Jowett!
Aye, aye, sir.
Pick 5 of your best men, arm 'em, and follow me. Dickon, you come along, too. We're setting our course for the mine.
I'm coming too, then, Captain. By George, I've got to see what's happening to the mine.
Captain, since I'm part owner of the mine, I think I ought to have a right to go along, too.
Then why can't I go, too?
Now, hold on a moment. You can't run risks all the time and come out unhurt.
Mr. Grange, Johnny does have a right to see what's happening to his mine. But avast now. Sue and Johnny, you can follow along if you stay behind the men. But the minute we sight trouble, back you go. That's orders.
Yes, sir, Captain Dalton.
We'll do just as you say.
Very well. Jowett, are your men all set?
Aye, aye, sir. Picked an arm to the teeth.
Come ahead, then. Full speed ahead. We'll head through this underbrush to the mine.
Rock! 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 Right out the rats from the hold, men! Rock!
Stow that, you blowin' pelican. You want to give us away?
Keep Polly quiet, Dickon. We don't know what lies ahead.
Captain, I can't understand who could be blasting the mine, though. Even if Red Mahuli is still alive, where would he get all the explosives?
That remains to be seen. I'll admit I haven't any idea.
Captain, do you think... No, that'd be too fantastic.
What were you saying, Mr. Grange?
Yeah, never mind. It would be impossible. I was thinking that somebody else might have landed here, and Red told them about the mine.
Well, that sounds possible enough, Mr. Grange.
That does, yes. But this part doesn't. I thought there might be a chance it could be Dirk Briscoe.
Lash me to the autumn. That's not as impossible as you may think.
Avast, Captain. Look, he's right ahead.
Avast! It's right ahead! It's right ahead!
Listen, cheering. That must mean they're down to the mine itself.
But that sounds like a lot of men.
You sharp ears, Johnny. Blow me down. It seems we've run afoul of a whole crew.
There, right ahead is the little hill with the mine on top.
Batten down the hedge, Captain. Look, they built a breastwork around the mine.
Blow me down. They've hemmed themselves in like a fortress.
Look out, Captain. There's a man up there at one side of the hill who sees us.
He's aiming his musket. Drop to the ground.
The lumber couldn't hit the side of a foremester.
The lookout's going inside the breastwork to warn the men, Captain. Look, somebody's sticking his head over the mound.
It's Dirk Briscoe. You were right, Mr. Grange.
Well, welcome, visitors. It couldn't be the famous navigator, Roy Dalton, in the offing.
I'm warning you, you bloody pirate. We'll swing you from the yard on before your course is done, you
Stow
blast...
it, Dickens, stow it. That talk will get us no place. We've got to do some quick thinking.
Avast, you barnacles. Ain't you coming up to pay a visit to old Uncle Dirk?
Blow me down. There's only one thing to do as I see it. I've got to take the chance. Will you give me a white kerchief, Mr. Grange?
Yes, Captain, but...
Dickon, hand me that branch lying over there.
Captain Dalton, what are you going to do?
Sue, I told you and Johnny to retrace your course back into the woods if we ran into trouble. I meant that.
Yes, sir, we will.
Yes, Captain Dalton, we'll go.
Now I'll lash the white kerchief to the branch with this bit of line.
Captain, you're making a flag of truce, sir. But why...
Never mind, Dickon. There. Ahoy, Dirk Briscoe!
Well, I'll be blowed. It is my friend Dalton. So sorry you wasn't invited to the party. Hark what I have to say. You and your blasted crew clear off this island while you're all in one piece.
Avast, Briscoe. I'll talk terms with you.
Oh, now you're willing to talk my terms, eh? Well, they ain't easy to listen to.
Do you see this flag of truce? Will you agree to let me advance alone up to the mine? It may be to your advantage.
Captain, you can't go up there by yourself.
It's the only way. I've got to find out what he's done to that mine. If we don't strike some kind of a bargain with him, we'll never get anything. You can't attack a party of men when they've built a fort around themselves like that one.
But, Captain, you can't trust the bloomin' rat.
You can't trust them, I say.
I'll take that chance. Every seaman respects the white flag of truce. It guarantees safety to a representative of the other side.
Avast, Dalton. Aye, I'll talk to you. My men are willing. Advance under the white flag.
Aye, Briscoe. Mr. Grange, watch out for all parties till I get back.
Well, I can't help it, but I think Dalton's making a mistake.
The white flag of truce is supposed to be sacred, sir. But there's no telling what a rat like Briscoe will do. White flag or no.
Look, Captain Dalton's climbing over the parapet.
I don't like the sound of that laughing, Mr. Grange.
Neither do I.
Last me, hearties.
Ahoy below, you lubbers. We've got your bloomin' captain up here, and we'll hold him as long as we've a mind to. The rest of you get back to shore, and if you ever come peeking around here again, I'll blow you to bits. All right, mates, warm up their retreat for 'em.
Good Lord, they're shooting at us. We've got to retreat.
We men will rush him, sir. We won't let him do no harm to Captain Dalton.
It's no use, Mr. Jowett. It'd be massacre if you attack that hornet's nest. We'll have to go back to the beach, round up all the men, and form a quick plan of attack. We must save Captain Dalton.
Look at 'em turn tail like scared porpoises.
This is a bit hard on me peg leg. I hoped... Avast! Here comes Buscara.
Mr. Grange, I was looking for you. The boy, the girl.
You mean Sue and Johnny? Why, they were with us a moment ago. Speak up. What's happened to them, Buscara?
She's come out of the woods a few minutes back. I not pay much attention. Then she's both run away again, around side of the island. And they took some of the explosives along.
What are you saying, man? Sue and Johnny came back and got some of the explosives?
Yes, Mr. Grange. And then she's run away again, round the side of the island.
Good Lord. Now what's become of them? And heaven only knows what's happening to Captain Dalton.
Dalton, I thought you had better sense than that. Walking right up here into my hands after the deal you gave me back on Ascension Island.
Briscoe, I didn't know any man who sailed the seas could sink as low as you have. There's no seaman who doesn't respect the flag of truce.
The flag of truce be blowed. I'm respecting nothing when there's loot to be got. And for diamonds, I'd murder me own brother for diamonds. You may lay to that.
Briscoe, I came up here to talk terms. You seized me and lashed me to this tree. And now you've got some bloody design in mind. Avast, whatever it is, get it over with.
Dalton, you're not going to be injured. Yet. You're going to get the privilege of watching a very exciting scene. You'll be our guest of honor. That's why I lashed you facing the sea. From the top of this rise, you can just barely see the beach. And that beach will shortly be very, very hot.
Blow me down. What do you mean?
Mr. Briscoe, I got your engine fixed just like you told me. So help me, Captain Dalton, and lashed to a tree. Well, if this ain't the chance I've been waiting for years...
Mulhooley, you dog. If my hands weren't tied, I'd... Briscoe, loose this bowline just long enough for me to take care of that bill scout, Mulhooley. I ask it as only fair.
Fair? What do I care about anything being fair?
That's setting him ashore at the right port, Dirk, matey.
Avast, you red-headed walrus. I'm not Dirk, matey, to you. It's Mr. Briscoe I am. I ain't quite decided whether I ought to pardon you or not for what you did to me years back.
But, Mr. Briscoe, you says it was all settled. We was mates. I told you about this mine, and you says...
Stow it. Get back to your work on them engines. Later, I'll let you have all the fun you want with Dalton.
Aye, sir. Just like as you say. But I can't hardly wait, so help me.
Have the men draw them engines up here close to the parapet. Hollings, where's that blasted first mate of mine? Hollings!
Aye, sir. Aye, I'm coming.
Mulhooley, get 2 of the men to help you bind that explosive in them canvas bags.
Aye, sir.
Hollings, you aim one of the engines, and I'll aim the other.
Not me. I don't do no aiming. I don't want no part of it.
Hollings, I've had about enough of your gam. Either you carry out my orders, or I'll take away your mate's rating and throw you in irons.
Much as I hate you, Briscoe...
Captain Briscoe, blast you.
I said, much as I hate you, Briscoe, I'll carry out your orders as mate. But I won't go slaughtering a crew of innocent and unsuspecting men by dropping explosives on them.
Mulhooley, take care of the other engine. I'll tend to you later, Hollings.
Briscoe, you swine, what are you doing?
Avast, my pretty friend. I always carries explosives in me hold. It comes in handy in my raids. That's how I could mine your diamonds. But here's how I usually uses them. See these engines?
Blow me down. They look like catapults.
Now you're getting smart, Dalton. Cannons is expensive and hard to purchase. So I had my trusty men make me catapults. The best part of them is they make practically no noise. I puts bags of explosives in them, lights them, and lets them go. Right into the middle of my enemies.
You're not going to use them on my crew.
That's right, Dalton. We'll let these surprise packages right down in the middle of the beach, where all your crew is. I don't expect they'll ever know what happened to them.
You... Briscoe, if I ever get my hands on you...
Wouldn't that be nice for you?
Well, things couldn't possibly be any worse than this. Briscoe is in possession of the mine. Dalton is captured and in great danger. And the whole crew of the Paul Parrot may be blown up at any moment by one of Briscoe's explosive catapults. And what's become of Johnny and Sue? Why did they run away with some of the explosives from the Paul Parrot? Be sure to listen for the next thrilling adventure in the cruise of the Paul Parrot. Your Paul Parrot announcer